Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the live stream here with your host with the deepest bassy voice ever, Eric Diaz. I was going to say E-Rock Nasty Cat, but that was a Twitch thing. We're on YouTube. I don't do Twitch things on YouTube. That is right. The last time we spoke, you were here with me and Rosalia, her first time live streaming by herself. I was standing in the corner just in case. How are you on this fine Tuesday with my NPR voice? Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you had a great day at work. You didn't get fired. You didn't catch any shit. Maybe you got a little lucky last night. NPR voice. Well, as the title suggests today, I have a Gary V video we're gonna watch, ladies and gentlemen. I sound like a we got a Gary V video. Wait, you guys can't hear my music, can you? Because if you can, no, you can't. Good. Okay, dude. First of all, let's kind of address the elephant in the room. That's right. I am too fucking famous for the internet now. I don't know how to say this without bragging, but I made a post today on my website too, by the way. I made a blog post. Dude, this motherfucker's at 36 views. Views. I don't know how to like check to see like how it's performing. I think maybe click on this. Yeah, I don't think that's quite what I'm supposed to be doing, but yeah, people are showing up. People are showing up. It's a hot commodity right now. Wait, stats? Yeah, mostly from Facebook. I'm just trying stuff out, guys, and it's actually working. So yes, today's blog is almost going to be my top performer. I just, golly. So I'm pretty excited about that. Not a big deal. That's what I got going on today. I'm running ads for our, probably shouldn't show you that, but for work, for the RV park, I'm gonna start learning how to run ads. And yeah, a lot of work stuff, bud. A lot of work stuff. I want to watch this video here. Hold on now, pal. I'm working on doing some stuff for the I'm trying to find it. It was on my phone. How come I can't find it? And oh my god. Oh, I feel like something. Dude, I need a good chiropractic adjustment. All right, here we go. Let's look for it. Let me see if I can find it. I was looking up what this SEMrush is. I've never heard. Well, yeah, I gotta figure out what that is. I'm learning about it. But let's look up this Gary Day in the Life of. Oh my God, make sense of it all in 4K. Dude, I'm telling you, I was done with LA. Another good one. But we're here to learn here. Gary V. There she blows. Let me turn my music off though real quick.
Big brands are still running marketing departments based on a book that was written in 1991 called How Brands Grow. I'm
reading his book right now, and honestly, it's such. I'm addicted to Gary V. Especially like with building a personal brand. I think it's very interesting. A lot of stuff that he says, the way that he says it gives me clarity as to what I'm doing. So I do like it.
Banner ads on websites, television commercials, billboards in places where everyone's on their phone, and they'll say, we reached this many people. The reality is you could potentially reach this many people, and you reached none of them. So I think the disease that's destroying Fortune 5000 land is potential reach versus actualized reach. It's why I'm so obsessed with social. I care about attention, and attention happens to be at scale in social right now.
When you hear the phrase branding that bites, what does that mean to you?
When I hear that, it sounds like someone wanted to use the word bites to mean, you know, works or hits or whatever word you want to put in there. But at the end of the day, what I think, you know, Allison so masterfully did and other companies that have done it, there's so many people in the business world that are so obsessed with understanding how
Why does
every
the audio
single
sound like
penny
shit? Do you hear that?
returns $1, right? Or a nickel or a dime. And for me, when I hear that sentence, I'm so passionate about branding and marketing because I know it's more effective than sales. And sales is so important.
Is that?
So many
Where's
do.
that hissing
I
coming
myself
from?
am a proud salesman. I love selling things.
Oh, that's coming from his video. What the hell?
Fact, probably the thing I'm most passionate about right now is live social shit selling, right? The QVCification of social media with Whatnot and TikTok Shop. But when I hear that, it sounds to me like someone understood the assignment. You know, at the end of the day, we all want people to come to us and buy what we want to sell. We don't want to go to them and knock on the door and ask them to buy it. And I think that sales and marketing / branding are the two functions. And I think that the marketing branding is harder.
Yeah, I gotta stretch real quick.
It's gray, it's art. You don't see it show up right away. There's a level of trust that has to come along with it. And look, I'm sure all three of us can attest to this. There's, to the credit of people that struggle with branding and marketing, they sit on validity. You know, I spend a lot of my time in Madison, and 95% of marketing campaigns are very expensive failures. And that's a and by the way, I'm being kind this morning. You know, I truly believe that 95% is being kind. And so there's a reason people struggle with it. As private equity starts to buy up a lot of things, you know, those are finance guys and gals. They struggle with it. They view it as a cost, you know, not a value prop. But for me, you know, branding that bites excites me.
Yeah, but if you...
Awesome. And Allison, you started your...
I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but one of the things that I find very fascinating about this is that if you learn how to do this skill set, or if you don't want to learn how to do the skill set, but you have somebody on your team that knows how to do the skill set, I mean, it can work. I mean, today, and this is what I mean by this. So shout out Gary V, because let me put this memory card away. One of the things that I've struggled with before here is I overcomplicated the structure of creating content. I wanted to have like this Hollywood produced video, and it was stressing me out, and I kept there's a scene in the movie called Soul. It's like a Pixar movie and stuff like that. This girl's really good at playing an instrument, and then I think she just gets kind of frustrated because she can't move to like the next step, and and she ends up wanting to quit. And then she's, you know, eventually she's like, oh man, what am I talking about? I'm not going to quit this. That's kind of where I'm at, when I sit with this. But, you know, today I tried marketing, and what I did was I told a story that was unique and personable. And I talked about today what my wife and I did, which it's the end of the year, so I figured, you know what, I want to reflect on something that I think I did this year that's pretty big, which was doing an unassisted home birth. And with doing the unassisted home birth, I've never done anything that wild. I felt like I could take on the world afterwards, and I felt like I could do anything. I talk about kind of the process of the home birth and what we did, and I don't know. Looking back, I could probably talk a little bit more, but I just find it super interesting that I got let's just say 1,000 people to look at my post, and of that, I'm telling you, the only way you could find my post is my website, which I haven't put my website out. No, I mean, I guess you could look for it, but I haven't like trained anybody to go look at my website. And number two is if you click that link on my Facebook, because I put it in the story. I was like kind of talking about it, and I kind of said like full breakdown in this link, and I am creating traffic on this website that it doesn't sell anything. It doesn't collect your email. The only purpose of it is to see, can I make people come to my website? Because then after that, what I think is that the skill set that I'm trying to learn is if I work for a company, can I get, let's say, make you a piece of content, and then I get them to come to your website, and then your website should convert and hopefully do whatever it is that you want to do. I think eventually what I will do with my website is I probably will start asking for emails, just to have like something that's like I want to ask for something, just to see if you'll give it to me. And I think what I'll do by collecting the website is like, whenever I do something like it's really interesting, or I want to be doing something personable or whatever, I'll do like a newsletter or something like that. I haven't fully decided. I'm just not there yet. I'm still learning kind of the ropes on this, honestly.
Brand literally in your kitchen sink. And now you have national distribution, and you have billions of dollars.
But actually, I want to break that down, 'cause I'm actually thinking about that right now. Like, that is wild. That is wild. So I am still trying to market my shit. But here's what I'm talking about. I average between, I told my wife, 200 and 400 views on wait, there's no fucking way that's what this is. I don't know what clicks means. But here's what I did, right? I shared this picture. I said, we delivered our baby unassisted in an RV. No hospital, no doctors in the room, just trust, preparation, and a moment that completely changed how I see my family and myself. This wasn't our first birth, but it was the one that reshaped our mindset going into 2026. I wrote the full story here, so then there's the link, not for shock value, but for reflection. I can tell you right now, and this is the thing that's so crazy. Well, first of all, I'm seeing like, okay, cool. Women from the ages of 25 to 34 are literally the most people that are watching. I just, this is so fascinating to me. So it says I got 18 link clicks, but I know that's not true, because over here I'm seeing that for traffic I am getting 38, and I'm telling you, that's the only way that you would be able to see that's the only way you'd be able to see that, because if you come to traffic, 36 from Facebook, so then I guess maybe 2 people may have came in through my website and then clicked on my on my blog. Dude, it's just a blog, and it's not even crazy, and I can't wait to get it better. Like, I'm really excited on working on this website, honestly. I think it's really fucking cool. Most popular time for me was Saturday, but that's probably because I kept going in on the website. Today's the 15th. Yeah, so, dude, I've had 182 visitors already, and I just built this thing. I don't have subscribers, and I don't have ads. how to turn your visitors into subscribers, how to import existing subscribers, how to grow your audience. So I'll have to look into that. I don't run ads. I don't make money. Because I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just trying to experiment with this. So somebody came in from TikTok. That might have been my wife. I put some money to like promote the website, but they're going to my homepage clicks. Again, I'm trying everything, dude. I'm like, that's what Gary Vee said to do. I'm trying everything, Gary.
When did you first realize that Poppy's brand was just as important as the product itself?
So we're lucky that we were Mother Beverage before, because let me just tell you, that brand was shit, you guys. And I know that, I can say that, our shark told us that, but we did have a great product. So it does start with the product, but you have to have both. You have to have product and brand. And I'm so blessed that we realized that really early on. So after getting a deal on Shark Tank, we took 9 months off and did a exercise. And yes, I said 9 months. Because a lot of people think building a brand is just something that you're like, okay, I know my mission, I know my values, I know my consumer, let's go. There's so much more that goes into that, from brand guidelines
Ooh,
to
I didn't know that.
Where you show up, how you show up. I mean, we have a brand book that's like 180 pages long. It's kind of crazy. So for us, we went through a big exercise of what...
Dude, that is cool.
You know, what is Poppy? We're soda for the next generation. What do? We give people the freedom to love soda again at its best. I love saying, as an adult, I've given you the freedom to enjoy grape soda. Right? And like, that's just really powerful. It's nostalgic. So you want to move.
Oh my God. And that grape soda is so good. I had one today. Oh my God. I've talked about this before. It's so crazy that we're watching this because my wife got that and she got grape soda. I'm like, oh, what the hell are you drinking that? Because I thought it was like a shitty, like flavored water, sparkling water. And she gave it to me and it was grape soda. And I was like, oh my God. And I haven't looked back. Now I'm buying them, dude, by the case.
What a brand is, you move it from the head to the heart. You want to emotionally connect with your consumer. And so a lot of the work that we did is we want to call ourselves a soda. So it's obvious we're in a 12-ounce can, not a bottle, right? Where Mother Beverage was in a bottle before. We want to scream soda. Soda tastes good. At the end of the day, people drink soda because it tastes good. What looks juicier than colorful, bright cans with like glistening in ice, right? That's juicy, that's like soda, not a white can with clean girl aesthetic. You wanna like we knew all of this going into it. So when we launched Poppy in March in 2020, literally the first week of COVID, we knew we were soda. Now, nobody else believed we were soda, right? That was a big thing. And the retailers, they didn't know where to put us. They thought we were sparkling water, a sister to kombucha.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I thought it was sparkling water. That's what I was meant to say.
They didn't have anywhere that they knew kind of where to put us, but we knew. And I feel like if you kind of stick core to your values, right? Think of Nike, Just Do It. They don't talk about their sneakers. It's an emotional way that they connect with the consumer. And so we just led with the brand first.
Nike is literally one of the greatest brands. Like, that's a story that when you're talking about brands, you can't talk about Nike.
Invest in it, build the brand, but you also have
Shout out Phil Knight.
Product as well.
Amazing. That's amazing.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's such an important point. Probably my favorite thing to do at VaynerMedia, our marketing branding agency, is when we actually tell clients that we would like to not work with them, which is very unusual in the agency landscape. And it always comes from a good place of really talking about product. I think, we're very proud of what we do. If you're in this audience right now and you feel good about your marketing skills,
golly, his mic sounds like shit.
Small businesses make is they may be so good at marketing, they have that salesmanship, they have that marketing, but their product sucks. And I think, all that good marketing does against a bad product is speeding up everyone knowing that your product sucks.
Awesome. And so,
it's so true.
don't fire me. Branding is one piece of the equation, and marketing is the other piece. And I remember, you may not remember, about a year ago, was it a year ago you sent me your new book? We were on, all the marketers were on our way to Cannes, the Creativity Festival, and I read it on the plane, front to back. And when I got back home, I asked my entire team to have that as a part of their book club reading, because marketing has changed so much
but it's so
over the last
exciting.
10 years, 5 years, 1 year.
Yeah,
And you often talk about attention being the number one currency.
100%.
How do
It's
small
true.
business owners decide when to show up, and how do they break through the noise, break through that noise in order to really plant the seed of a
And dude, I think there are young people who know that that's what we're trading for is their attention.
I think, when to show up.
What's Clover?
is
I don't
as
know what that
often as you
is. Is that a
possibly
cell
can
phone brand?
afford. Like, why would you not? Right? I think where to show up is what I think a lot about. To me, that book was called Day Trading Attention. And it was important that I called it Day Trading Attention because I had finally understood what I've been doing for my whole career. To remind some of you, or if you don't know, really, I learned my craft working in my dad's liquor store. It was a local one-store liquor
Dude, that's what I could be doing here at Hideaway.
store in Springfield, New Jersey. And I built that business from a $3.8 million to a $60 million business in a very short window, which is nice and a nice number and a big accomplishment. But as I've gotten older, it's even more profound to me because I did that without raising any capital. And my father was so immigrant, we didn't even have a credit line. And the business did $3.8 million on 10% gross profit. $380,000 before expenses. And in a 6-7 year window, I built that business so quickly. And I was able to ask myself, what from that
I don't know what that last part
98
means.
to today was I doing? And I was day trading attention. At the time, there's a lot of youngsters in here. Having a website for a liquor store was like, what are you talking about? It'd be like if I showed up on stage right now with an AI robot and we were just chilling up here. Like, it was very advanced. And then email marketing was advanced. And then the big one at the time was Google. I bought Google AdWords when nobody else was doing that. And then it was YouTube, and then it was social media, and right now it's live shopping, or it's working content to show up on LLMs.
Google
It'd be the
AdWords?
first results when you're in ChatGPT for what wine should I buy, or who's a good entrepreneur, or whatever it might be.
Wait, what did he just say?
For content to show up on LLMs. And right now it's live shopping, or it's working content to show up on LLMs to be the first results when you're in ChatGPT for what wine should I buy, or who's a good entrepreneur, or whatever it might be.
Dude, I didn't think about doing that. How do you do that, actually? Good thing I have my handy dandy. I am watching an interview with Gary Vee, and he is talking about how you can work, I don't know, work the system to have MLMs recommend content / website. How is that possible? Well, I spelled that wrong. But okay, so great question. And Gary Lee is touching something real, but it's often misunderstood or simplified. Let's demystify it without the guru fog. All right, so first, what does he mean by MLM, recommend content? He's not talking about hacking YouTube, Google, or Facebook. He's talking about alignment, not manipulation. Modern MLMs recommend content based on patterns of human behavior, not favors, tricks, or secret buttons. So when someone says work the system, what they really mean is design your content so the model can confidently predict people will engage with it. How recommendation systems actually work is MLMs don't understand your content, they observe signals. Core signals every platform watches is CTRs, watch time, satisfaction signals like comments, likes, saves, and shares. Session extensions. Did your content keep people on the platform longer? And consistency. Do people engage with you repeatedly? If your content increases any of these, you get recommended more. That's it. Okay. And it's so crazy. I mean, that's what MrBeast was saying. I mean, he's been saying that. Like, dude, just make shit that people want to watch. I mean, that's pretty much it. So working the system really equals giving the model confidence. Think of the algorithm like if I show this to another person like this last one, will they probably enjoy it? Your job is to remove uncertainty. You do that by clear identity, one topic, one vibe, one audience. Predictable payoffs, the title promises, the content delivers. Early engagement, first 3 to 5 seconds, first paragraph matters more than anything. Human reactions, comments that aren't nice vids but actually responses. Completion, people finish is a huge green light. When these happen consistently, the model learns who to show you to. For websites, this is where people get confused. Search engine works similarly but slower. Google doesn't rank good writing, it ranks useful outcomes. Signals include time on page, scroll depth, backclicks versus pogo sticking. I don't know what that is. Internal link flow. I also kind of don't know what that is. Again, external references, search for satisfaction. That's why blogs outperform social media posts long terms. Click from Facebook helps SEO. Your recent 28 reader. Oh yeah, I bragged to ChatGPT about that today. Embarrassing. There is no hack, but there is leverage. Here's the part Gary V is probably hinting at. You can stack signals intentionally. So examples, you're already doing this intuitively. Write a blog, long dwell time, post on Facebook with a strong emotional hook. People click, stay, read. Google sees people who land here don't bounce. Page slowly gains trust. That page starts ranking for long tail terms. More organic traffic comes in. The loop feeds itself. Oh my God. The real cheat code nobody sells well is be specific enough that the model knows who you're for. General content confuses MLM. Specific content, unassisted birth in an RV, running an RV park out as a family, learning marketing in public. That specifically is algorithm candy. So why this matters for you specifically, you're doing 3 things most people never do. Owning your platform, driving intentional traffic, creating narrative continuity. That's exactly what recommendation systems are built to amplify. You're not trying to go viral. You're trying the model who to send you, and that compounds. So final truth bomb, anyone claiming they can game the algorithm permanently is lying, but people who understand incentivize, respect the model, design for humans first, absolutely ride the wave. If you want next, you can reverse engineer, map your okay. So that's what he means by that. That is fucking wild, dude.
Everybody here needs.
How does he do it, dude?
Things.
I'm telling you, right now, I'm on this big Gary V kick, and he's inspiring me to the point where I'm like, dude, if he's Michael Jordan, I'm trying to be Kobe Bryant of whatever he's doing.
I learned how to market with no money, which is the greatest way to learn, right? As we know, big budgets, you didn't have as many dollars, things were scrappier. Now in a PepsiCo world, they'll spend more money on a production day, to promote this than you did in your whole year. So for everyone here, this is why I'm completely obsessed. How many people here know my content or follow me a little bit, just give me your hands. Thank you. So the people that raise their hands, you know, I'm screaming on a daily basis in 100 different ways saying the same shit, which is make unlimited social media content organic. It's free. It's free. The fact that every person in this room is literally one post away from things being different. Now, one post away sounds nice on paper. It's hard. How do you break through? That's why I wrote a 300-page book on it. It's detailed.
Book's good, by the way.
The second, the thumbnail, the first 3 seconds, how you keep people's attention at the 10-second mark on a 40-second video, the copy you support it with. Do you do a reel or a carousel? Are you on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Spotlight, because no one's going there, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Twitter? It's a complicated framework, but
I find it interesting that he's talking about how nobody goes on Spotlight. Dude, I tried Spotlight. It was not, it wasn't happening. I think I might have deleted it too. No, actually I still have it. I couldn't do Snapchat, man. I just couldn't, no matter how many times I tried. And it's just because of this. I mean, it's just the content that's on here. It's just so, I don't even know how to explain. Like, I don't understand why, like, I'm getting the stuff that I'm getting. Like, it's just all, you know what I mean? So, yeah, this is ridiculous.
for every face.
I'm sorry, but if the first thing I do when I come onto your platform is I'm getting solicited inappropriate things, I'm going to leave.
That I'm looking at right now, it is worth the 25 hours of deep education to get good at it, because it is the lowest cost, highest upside.
Wait, what?
To get good at. It is complicated. There, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Twitter. It's a complicated framework, but for every face that I'm looking at right now, it is worth the 25 hours of deep education to get good at it, because it is the lowest cost, highest upside to build your business.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Allison, you started on Shark Tank as someone seeking funding, and then you came back as a shark. Mm-hmm. And through that journey, you've seen a lot of brands. People, I'm sure, come to you for mentorship and advice every single day. What's the single biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs making in their branding that you want this room to avoid?
Yeah, I think, just to comment on you, I was one post away from going viral, and I did go viral, and it changed my life. So that video now has 250 million views, and I have 3 billion views on my face on TikTok. So don't give up. Like, that is such good advice, and I really feel like it was such an important part of our journey. When it comes to brands making mistakes, that's almost like a loaded question, because you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't take risks, you don't know what's next. So for us, yes, we knew what we were and who we were in our consumer, kind of like I was saying earlier, but what I love what we did at Poppy is we had like the 80-20 rule. 80% of our budgets, our AOP calendars, were planned to cultural moments or big moments in retail. They were very structured, organized. We had, months of planning, years of planning ahead of time, projections. And then we left 20% for cultural relevant moments. So, for example,
she got edited, bro.
Really viral this summer. We did an Amaya papaya meme, and we were like, let's make this flavor. It got picked up by people. It went viral. It got hundreds of thousands of views and likes, so much so we had a DM waiting for her when she got out, and we were able to do that within 3 months.
Dude,
and we're a huge
I woke up
now.
early today because I was
There's
getting
so
excited about the branding stuff. So,
so we took risks. We spent money not knowing the ROI or the KPI or anything behind that, because it was culturally a moment that we needed to be a part of. And another example that I love is we're the official soda of the Lakers. We actually can't sell there because of contracts. I think it's a Coke stadium. But the Lakers are part of culture, right? Celebrities go there. We have our logo with Kim Kardashian sitting on the sidelines, right? That's a cultural moment. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, we can't sell there, we can't do it. So I think a really big mistake that brands do is not taking enough risk and not testing enough things.
That's crazy
and
that
not
you
doing
can't
things
sell
that
there because
make
Coke has
VCs
that
and public
unlock.
money very uncomfortable. And if that's one thing I would say is like take way more risk, at least 20% more.
Yeah, and so, you know, as we think about entrepreneurial brands and the big guys that do the same exact thing, the playbook is exactly the same. You have a budget, plan a certain amount against things that you know will happen, that are static, that hit retail windows. The other 20%.
Some of these big words that they use, I
opportunistic
don't know what the hell they're
to
talking
really
about.
Take advantage of what's happening in culture. And so, Gary, as you have seen so many brands, big brands, little brands, and you work with
Sorry for
all
being
different
rude.
types with your agency.
I'm just tired.
What do you think the big brands are
But
doing
I'm here for you.
wrong?
Everything.
Okay. Okay. All right. Tell us.
Big brands are still running marketing departments based on a book that was written in 1991 called How Brands Grow.
Oh, here's a fire.
That book was written in 1991. Now, a lot of CMOs and big brands don't realize they're running it. They just have bought into the philosophy. Ironically, or maybe not ironically, the philosophy is incredibly sound, right? The problem is it was written in 1991. And so couldn't factor in the fragmentation of the media landscape. It was written based on the principles of having television be the disproportionate, most important medium, and still living in a world where television commercials could penetrate culture. We're now in a world where the only television commercials that have a prayer of being ROI positive
Super
are
Bowl.
Super Bowl commercials. The problem there is it's such a financial risk. It's
Yeah.
incredibly
Look
high
at
risk, high
Kanye.
reward, but still worth it. All of us, when I said that, everyone's like, yeah. I mean, we literally watch for the commercials, not even the games sometimes, depending on your fandom. I definitely don't watch the game anymore. I'm a Jets fan. I'm super pissed this morning. So big brands also make a very critical mistake right now that I think entrepreneurs, we rely on common sense a lot more because we have to. So for example, in big brand land, one of the things that they're obsessed with is reach and frequency. We've got to reach you all a lot of times. The problem is they assume the reach is garnered. So they will run banner ads on websites, television commercials, billboards in places where everyone's on their phone, and they'll say, we reached this many people. The reality is you could potentially reach this many people, and you reached none of them. So I think the disease that's destroying Fortune 5,000 brand is potential reach versus actualized reach. It's why I'm so obsessed with social. And let me be very clear here with a lot of you. I don't give a shit about social media. I care about attention, and attention happens to be at scale in social right now. But when Zucks is done with his master plan with the glasses and the phone that this gentleman just dropped, and I watched him pick it up, that is our remote, this is the remote control of our lives right now. We all know it. We're all trying to figure out how to be on it less. It's that powerful. This is about to go away. This,
Damn.
the OGs in the room, this is about to be the beeper.
Oh, damn, that's crazy to say. A fucking beeper, bro? I wasn't even old enough to have one of those.
On eBay as like a nostalgic reminder. And for the parents in the room that are so scared about their kids being on the iPad or the phone too much, this is going to be child's play to the world we're about to go into. AI,
Oh my God, that's scary and
AR,
fun.
VR,
Dude, this is why I want to learn. Oh my God, yes.
robots. What do you think? Technology just stops because you're living right now? So I think the big mistake we're making is not taking
All right, I'm gonna buy the
advantage
Apple Vision Pro.
of
Fuck
where
it.
the attention actually is. And then finally, and I'm sure you went through this, and I'm sure this is something that you spent a lot of time thinking about, this is her. Now there's gonna be custodians of this brand, and they're gonna make subjective calls on what's on brand, what does it mean, and they're going to be subjective calls of 1 or 2 or 3 people. The other biggest issue in Fortune 500 land is subjective opinions make trillion-dollar decisions. There's an incredible lack of humility in big brand marketing. It is based on politics and audacity and subjective opinions. It is wild. And then we guess and spend all our money amplifying it from the top. When we have this new world where you can do social at scale, do you know how many different ideas all of us have of what this brand could talk about? Now that's tough because to Allison's point earlier, when you want to be on brand, when you're trying to do relevant thing for everybody in the audience, there's a lot of different people here. You could start to be off.
What this is really interesting too, because Gary will actually talk about how, because this lady just said how she has like this 180-page brand book or whatever. And the reason why that's interesting is because Gary thinks that you got to be careful with that, because if you're not careful with that, you'll stay in a little corner and you won't ever got to expand, to other places and other realms. So what's up? Welcome in. I'm watching this interview that Gary did. I'm just learning how to do marketing. I had a little bit of a marketing success story today, so you know what I mean. I want to keep learning, and I just want to broadcast this out to anybody that wants to learn. And if you want to build a community, or if you want to be part of a community that wants to learn this stuff, kick it. I don't always do marketing. Sometimes I just kind of goof off, and I like pop culture and things like that. So I kind of tune into that stuff. So, but now today we're learning. I want to be able to, where I work right now, I'm working somewhere, and I think that if I don't fuck around and I use this opportunity, I could probably learn so much, and it will help the park, obviously, and the people who own the park, which is really cool. But if you are rich and you have a yacht and a boat, a house and all this stuff, the government people can take that shit away from you, but the knowledge that you have in your head, they can't. You know what I mean? That's my superpower that I like, is knowledge. I mean, if you know shit, someone can just drop you off in the middle of whatever city, town, or the middle of nowhere, and you can just be a Green Beret, Navy SEAL, just psychopath out there living your best life.
By people's opinions. My issue is that I'd rather be relevant to as many different people as possible, because relevance leads to consideration, and
Again, I don't know what some of these big words that he's saying are, but
leads to buying stuff. So I'd rather, in this room, if I was selling this, really know you one by one and get you to buy this based on what you fuck with.
How do I do that for this park, though? You know what I mean? Obviously, RVs.
Which is going to be different for everybody in this room. And so I think they're losing on relevance.
Oh, okay. I kind of get it now. I kind of get it. It's like okay. So today I ran a marketing. I'm trying to do marketing campaigns. I did one today for the park, and we have a nature trail that we have. And so, again, just trying to do stuff because I'm learning from his book. I was like, well, who would, let me see if there's people who RV and they do it because they want to do hiking stuff. And, I just let them know, hey, we're working on this hiking trail in the back. It's going to be ready here in a couple weeks, starting in 2026. Hopefully somebody clicks on our website, which, by the way, that was another thing I did today. Look at this. This is way better, dude. This is way better. I fixed this landing page. I could show you what it was before if you want. Can you see that? Oh wait, I'm sorry. So here it is. That's what it is now. And I think I put it in here. Yeah, it's right here. I'm gonna keep this because I want to keep track of everything I did, but let me zoom in here. Oh, it looks like shit though. Oh, no, never mind. Oh yeah, it does now actually. I mean, so whatever they had before, it was just some weird fucking video or a weird uh a picture of just the sky and the tree. I mean, just really nothing. Like honestly, and it is one of those things where you're like, was that even this place? And so anyhow, I want to change that picture's still on there. I want to change that. The website's not completely done, but I'm proud of what I did today. Cleaned up some stuff here. This wasn't balanced, and that kind of I didn't like that at all. Some of the wording that they went with, I also am not a big fan of. Another thing I gotta do too is if you click on this link, it's annoying because it doesn't take you to the velvet buck or the if you click this one to the white squirrel, which I think it should. Because that's a friction point there, and if you create friction, then it makes it harder for people, especially older people. Once they start getting a little bit of friction from websites or just anything on the computer, they just say "F it" and they just give up and they just say, I'm not going to do this. And we don't want to do that because then they kind of call in a little bit upset. And so, updated this. I need to update these pictures here. These are all stock footage, not really good shit. Yeah, I got a gallery stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And so here's what we got to. Oh, it actually fixed. Okay. What we got today is I did a nicer picture, and then we updated some of this stuff here where it says, and then see how it looks more balanced now. I know it's kind of weird that it has space there and space there, but still, that's much better. It's better. It has a nice little balance to it, so that's pretty cool. We got rid of this. Erica came up with this copy, RV rentals. Try it before you buy it. I don't know how I feel about that, but at least I can change it if I want to change my mind later down the road. Well, we did a little bit of fixes here too. Like I said, I got to change that. These are pictures I want to update. That's the map. I got to get that updated as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You want people to come in here and you want them to feel like, oh, whoa, okay. This looks cool. Okay, that's interesting. Show them the park, like the really good sides of the park. But yeah, I'm excited to do that because damn, I have a lot of tabs. That's pretty messy. Yeah, I'm. I got some tricks up my sleeves. So one of the things too, like I always take the approach. Yeah. Oh. I take the approach of marketing the way I do like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And like when I first started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I was like, dude, I got to get good at one skill so I don't get, beat up every single time. And eventually I was able to put some moves onto people because that's how I would kind of do it. That's what I want to do with marketing. I don't want to be some like Gary Vee right now. Like I want like one move that gets the job done. Even if it like literally, if I do one post and it contributes to one person making a reservation, that's it. That's success.
And I think they're getting destroyed on potential reach versus actualized reach. And that's where our work has been in trying to change that playbook.
That's amazing. So Allison,
Clap it up.
in a very crowded category that you compete in, how do you get the balance right of reaching and scaling to new audiences and staying true
Reaching and scaling to new audiences?
who people have known this brand to be and maintaining the core of your relevance? How do you get that balance right? Or how do you think about that as you are now entering a whole new frontier of growth?
To his point, Poppy is me, and going into the Pepsi system, to your point, they're like, can you just write everything down and we'll follow a book? To your point, it is a little bit hard, but I did sell my company, so I do have to do that. And they, good luck. But I will say, for me,
Oh,
it's
she doesn't own
interesting,
anymore?
with
That's
just the way
cool.
that you kind of like
Building a
look at that,
business and
but,
selling it off was cool.
Look, I struggle with men and gaming and sports with Poppy. We are a female company. It's core to who our audience is. We do know that once you get to a scale, you do have to open your audience and get more people in the fold. It's the only way that you can scale a business and be successful. So that was
Grow
a
your
topic
audience?
of
Oh, this is a
conversation that we
Shark
had
Tank
for almost
summit.
3 years. Poppy girlies, right? The college girlies, the moms, the Gen Zennials is what we call it, was just the core of our community. So we were like, okay, how do we
The
get
Gen
men
Zennials?
into
That's
the fold?
funny.
So we did the Lakers partnership. We did Inter Miami. We started working with Fortnite streamers. But what we did really well is we did all that, but probably you guys.
Dude, isn't that crazy? These guys are working with people who play video games. Video games?
You know about the Lakers and Inter Miami, but we don't put any of those things on our social feed. So we are working with gamers, we're working with YouTubers, we are working with sports athletes, we're doing all these things, but they actually never come into our social ecosystem, because then the people that are our core community, they still know us as the Poppy girlies and the core to it, and it's so fun and all the trend and the cultural things, but we are talking to the men, right? And so I think a lot of people get confused, and it's almost very jarring to all of a sudden see men just showing up on our feed. And I think that, I know I would be curious to think like what you think about that, but it's something that's just worked really well for us. We also know that within the Pepsi portfolio, they have.
Dude, this lady just
brands
looks
that are
rich,
for
if I
men,
could
and
say that.
Poppy's really the only one for women, and like that's okay too, right? To capture the women do all the shopping for the household. The amount of times I have someone come up to me and be like, my daughter introduced me to it, that's a man. So like that is an avenue to.
Oh, that's
get
funny.
new,
And he
men
talks
into
about that
the
in his
fold.
book.
You know, one of my favorite stories was we were trying to get into Publix. It's a grocery store in Florida, and the buyer kept telling us no. And then finally he called us one day and he's like, you have a full rollout. And we're like, what happened? He's like, my 17-year-old daughter came home and said, Dad, why do you not have Poppy? and so I think that people, you just kind of have to like think of it differently. You can expand your audience as you do it, but you don't have to do it necessarily in the traditional way of like all of a sudden changing the core of who you are.
To build on that, what's happening is we're living in a fractioned media landscape. Let me just go very
Fractioned
we're
media
probably
landscape?
within the next 2 or 3 years, where the content you put out on social, the algorithm is going to find the audience that is interested in the content itself, right? So
But they're already doing that.
I was aware of this. The social media I grew up with was more like email marketing. You had to get as many followers as you could, and then every time you posted, a certain percentage of those followers would see every post. I would actually argue we are past the social media era, and I think we're in something I call the interest media era. So I think we're seeing the things we're interested in, not the content from people that we follow. And so what would happen in that sense?
And that's what I'm saying with Snapchat, where it's trying to test your interest, but because the user base is usually on there thinking, oh, yeah, well, most of our users are either doing this or that. That's why I get that. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do that. It's going to have to. It's going to have to start from somewhere. These AIs are like, okay, well, this is my most. It's like the other day we went to. I invited somebody out to go have dinner, and I've never seen anybody do this before. But they're like, hey, tonight. He told he was telling the waiter, tonight I want you to order for me, and the guy's like, what do you like? He goes, dude, I don't have any allergies. I don't care. I want you to order for me. And he goes, okay. And he said, he pretty much just was like, this is our most popular dish, so that's what I'm going to get you. And that's what he picked. So essentially what I'm getting at with the story is that when you go on these social media platforms, especially when you're starting out, it's that same concept of when you go to a restaurant, like it's the algorithm trying to essentially give you the most popular dish of the day because, hey, everybody else is liking it. Maybe you might like it. And if you say you don't, then, it'll try something else. And, based off of data. But that's kind of what social media is turning into right now, which I think is a good thing, honestly. One of the reasons why I take to social media and I like being on here and stuff like that is because I think it's a lot easier to find somebody that you can talk to that likes doing the things that you like doing. So like if you like Formula One cars, like, you know, or playing Fortnite, like that lady was saying, it's really easy to find people here that you want. And sometimes the only thing is that it can get kind of overwhelming because it's then you're like, well, shit, I kind of like me. I'm like, dude, well, I like everything now.
Allison, is that you would have a lot of control of what people can see. To your point, the way you broke that down, you're talking about people coming to your Instagram and seeing that grid. That's less than 3%
I gotta work on my
of the
Instagram.
consumption of Instagram content.
And by the way, just so you know, this is not like the easiest thing. It's hard doing this. Right now, I'm only doing my website that I just started building. And I think just Facebook, and then what we're doing here, this YouTube. I was making videos. I've stepped away from that. I'm gonna focus more on photography and writing right now because that's just what I can manage. So it's difficult doing this. Try it for 30 days
to control that. In fact,
I mean, eventually you want to start getting on all platforms, but yeah,
if you look carefully,
it's not easy.
Always addressing what people want on both the company side and people side. They're rolling out on Instagram the ability for you to control the grid completely, not just the top 3 pins, but the whole grid, because they know so many brands care about that. At the same token, I think at the end of the day, you want to get as many people to be interested in what you do. And so there's platform strategy. Like if we were jamming 4 years ago and you're like, what do I do with this? I would say, where are you at with YouTube Shorts? Where are you at with Snapchat? Where are you at with Instagram Reels only posting? So you'd be able to post only Reels only, so it doesn't show up in the grid, but it can
This man's like 50 years old and he knows all this.
This is why it gets into the details. Like once you really know this is why the point I made earlier, if I can just get all of you into that 25 to 50 hours just on social, just on the 6 platforms and how they work, you can start getting into your optionality, which helps you execute your strategy.
Amazing. So Gary, I asked you earlier, what are the big guys doing wrong?
The who?
Now
Oh, the
I'm gonna
big
flip the
guys.
question. Is there anything the big guys are doing that's right that this audience should adapt?
Damn. Crickets.
Not really. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Like, the things they do well come along with scale.
Which, by the way, I'm telling you, I am a firm believer of this. Right now, it like if you, I'm trying to learn this so that I can kind of just get a baseline. But yeah, it's too late, dude. Social media, I'm starting to see people kind of take interest in that and stuff. The next wave is coming, and it really is with these glasses and these headphones or goggles or whatever they're supposed to be called. And right now is the time to do it. I really do think so. I mean, I was wearing those Apple Vision Pros, and dude, I swear my mind was blown by wearing those.
Well, they got fucking money. That's good for y'all. Like, you should do that. But the execution, we all in here, 0 to 100 looks nothing like the big guys. Looks nothing like it. You can't afford to be that stupid. It's just different, And by the way, this is important because of the way I'm talking. So many of the people in these big companies are smart. They're stuck by the system. They're checking. Like, that was the most shocking to me when I got into that game. I'm like, wait, but But then I was like, oh, your bonus is tied into getting that many views on television. So how could I possibly ask you to do the right thing when you've got a mortgage to pay?
Damn, bars.
I think that no, I do not believe that anyone in this room that's on their quest from 0 to 100 million should spend much, if any, time figuring out what the
I'm not on that
big
quest.
guys are doing. I think you can learn about, let's use this brilliant woman. You could learn about what the big guys want to buy. My favorite part of watching Allison and her husband, the team, build their company was it never felt to me like they were guessing or it was random or they got lucky. Like every move I was watching from afar, I'm like, they have an agenda to
They're
sell
skilled.
this company to Coke or Pepsi. That's literally what I felt within the first glances of what was going on there. And so I would say that it's, you don't need to look at the big companies to decide what to do because they're different than you.
I would do that. I would build something and
Scaled retail
sell it to a big
distribution.
company.
They have unlimited funds compared to you.
That's what Elon Musk
You
did.
gotta play a different game. It's David and Goliath type stuff, right?
Ooh, which actually, there's a video that I've been watching. I'll probably eat with my family, and then I'm gonna watch it later on tonight. But yeah, it's called House of
But there
David.
is a
It's so
lot to
good. It's
learn
on
about how they
Amazon
think
Prime.
or what they
I
need,
highly suggest you
because
check it
that
out.
may lead to
Also,
you
Merry Christmas,
expanding
everybody,
into
by
a
the way.
product category with your brand that may lead to the exit that you want. So reverse engineering them and understanding them. By the way, that's why I started my company.
God, how are these guys so fucking smart? Like, I don't get it.
It was started because all I knew was small business and Silicon Valley startups. I knew nothing about Fortune 500, and I wanted to know it because whether I wanted to disrupt it or buy into it or sell to it, I wanted to know it. So you should.
Okay, that's what I gotta do
But
next.
your
I gotta know
actions
it.
in building your business, there isn't a lot of great things to get out of there. I think those things, you know, I'd rather you pay attention to a drug dealer.
Okay,
You know?
hold up.
It's scrappier. It's just true. I mean, I say it, I don't say it for shock value. I say it so you hear me, right? Like there's a level of scrappiness, like startups. I mean, look, people are leaving. I'm sorry, I apologize. But like, you know, but I do think
You piss people off.
there's much scrappier things to learn from. It's a different game. And I do see a lot of people. In fact, Allison, this might be on your radar given how your track has gone. A lot of people that are in big companies try to do this and fail horribly often all the time. I never invest in startups started by people who just left full career at Procter & Gamble or PepsiCo, not because they're not smart or good, it's that they're bringing corporation thinking to a startup game.
Yeah, you
And
can't do that because they don't have the
like,
resources.
Like LeBron's the fucking LeBron. He's a GOAT. But if he was like, yo, Gary, I'm about to get into hockey and I'm starting to play tomorrow, invest in me, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face, LeBron. And that's how different it really is from corporate.
Yeah, that makes
to,
sense.
You know, this early stage. And so that's why I answer the way I answer.
Awesome. And so, Allison, as you have now pivoted,
Dude, my world, this skill set, dude, this skill set could open up so many
Shark
doors.
Tank exposure to now being a part of a huge Fortune 500 enterprise of Pepsi. What have you done to really take that momentum that you started with at Shark Tank and ride that to really get you to the big payday at Pepsi? How did you take that momentum?
I think it's easier to go back to the early days. I think it's more contextual to the audience of, look, we did an update on Shark Tank and it aired April, the second month of lockdown. And how many people are sitting at home in front of the TV April of 2020?
Yeah, guilty.
It really early on, look, that was the second month of business for Poppy. We launched the first week of COVID. We had to throw the traditional marketing playbook out the window because it was such a crazy time. But what it did at that moment is overnight we hit #1 on new Amazon top product list. I think we were trending.
Oh, that's
between
cool.
Kardashian and Donald Trump. But it opened our eyes to being digital first. It opened our eyes to quote unquote a national commercial month 2. We went from doing like $5,000 on Amazon to $250,000. So we're like, we can reach a lot of people if we figure out a way to do stuff not in person. And so we, at that moment, the cameras go off, Shark Tank's done. I became completely obsessed with TikTok. We were one of the first brands to get on and really talk to our community and put myself out there. And I have a lot of friends that are like, oh man, I don't want to do it myself, or I don't want to be the face of. Like, that's a new problem because then you don't want to be successful. It's like, let that go. And you know what? Okay, if you don't want to do it, hire someone to do it. And I think they're like, well, I don't want someone else to be the face of my company. The internet moves on after 3 days. Who cares if they leave, hire someone else, right? I always feel like people are making excuses. And to Gary's point, like social media is
Damn, don't move on from me, internet.
And I don't say customers, I say community. And I know people is like, oh, authentic community. I'm so sick of hearing those words, but it's true, right? True. It's true. And so like, do it, feel cringe, get online, do these things. So for us, even with the cameras going on,
I feel cringe.
we found a way to just keep the conversation going. And then we did invest in a Super Bowl ad year, I think 3 at Poppy, which is kind of wild. If you really think about it and how that came about.
Yeah, that is.
Saying moving at the speed of culture, we created a beautiful piece of content that was really anthemic. We were really wanting to show people that we were soda for the next generation. I think we said soda in the commercial 17 times because at the time people were like, this functional drink, this better for you soda. And we're like, no, we are soda and we're gonna tell everybody about it. So we saw
It's good too. If you haven't tried Poppy, you gotta try it.
Super Bowl comes.
Specifically the grape flavor, dude. Now other people are copying.
We wanted to buy one, we couldn't do it. I ended up, I'm part of like this TikTok collective. I was at dinner and this guy worked at a media company and I was like, hey, do you have a Super Bowl ad? And he's like, I do. And we bought that Super Bowl 4 days before the Super Bowl. And that's how much we believed in what we were doing and we were just moving at the speed of culture. We tripled our awareness overnight. We had never even tested linear before that. I think we'd done like a little test in the November before. We just
what does that
like,
mean?
No, we know this is gonna work. And after that, the doors that opened for us were insane. I mean, I remember like the Uber driver knew what Poppy was on the way home from the airport. And like before that just like had never really happened before. And then, you know, we doubled down with it after that. We were like, okay, this whole new linear is working.
Dude.
Keep the social engine going. And so it was just like this momentum. It's the right time, right? You don't want to start doing these things if you don't have the distribution because we had the distribution, we had the creative, we had the momentum. And we just stayed at the top of our game. Like we just moved quick. And so I think that's, big companies can't do that, but still in the Poppy system within Pepsi, they're still allowing us to really move at the speed of culture.
Awesome. Yesterday, you said the word community. Yesterday, we had a lot of conversation about community and what that means to business building. Gary, you're known for saying that community is the future of marketing. How can small businesses really build their brand and build
My
their
computer's slowing down,
business
sorry
model?
guys.
If that is what you believe, what tips can you give this audience?
I'm going to quote the great poet. I think when I think about community, this is the best thing I think about. The great poet says,
It's a
never
great
get
poet.
high on your own supply. Let me tell you why I just quoted that. I believe that small businesses are very good at getting high on their own supply. You start thinking you're someone and you start to take your community for granted.
Damn.
When I leave a conference,
I appreciate you, one person watching. I know you don't want to say anything. That's okay.
I do a lot of listening.
But I do appreciate
It's funny,
you.
I do so much speaking, it seems, because of the way I do content. But
I won't get too big for my
95% of life
britches.
is listening. I would say that that's what I actually am, a human anthropologist. I'm curious about everything that all of you are interested in, and everything is why, so that I can figure out what I want to do with it. I am blown away by how many
that's
of you
interesting.
posted something for your business yesterday, got 7 comments, and you replied to none of them.
Ooh,
do not
fuck
understand.
around. Dude, we actually experienced that the other day. That video that we saw of that artist. Yeah, four comments. I was the 5th one. She did the same thing to me. She responded with a like of my comment and didn't respond. Hey, I don't do that. Check my shit out right now. I respond to my shit.
Community is like working out, meaning you can't talk about it. You can't read about it.
You got to
You
be in the
can't
trenches.
pontificate about it. Y'all either went to the gym this morning or you did not. And knowing how early this session was, you probably didn't. You know, but if you did, you got those results. And so for me, community is imperative. I do not think, actually back to Alice's world, do you know that new Coke, this is like a very incredible all-time Fortune 500 brand story. Coca-Cola, for some of the OGs in here, either you studied it or you lived through it like I did as a kid, Coke changed its formula. The reason we have Coke Classic is because they had to change it back real quick. If you remember, it's a very famous story.
Whoa.
It's worth reading about.
Like
if you were young, so you don't know this story from the 80s.
like
The reason they had
Cracker
to
Barrel.
change it back, and I don't want to get the number wrong, but it's this is Coca-Cola in the mid 80s at the where like we brushed our teeth with that shit. Right? Like, it was at the height, and they had to change back to their formula because something like 20,000 customers who were super heavy users who were drinking like 4 cases a day.
Damn.
And
My
they didn't
aunt
like
would
the
drink 2
formula,
liters like
the
crazy
collective, and they had to switch
in her
it back.
house.
I do not think that people realize how big of a business you can build with just 20,000 crazy people. And the best and easiest way to get 20,000 crazy people is to actually go all in on community and engage with them at scale.
I'm engaging with you, my one listener.
This is gonna happen to you. It's already happening. Your story gets rewritten with success. It gets blurry. You yourself forget every detail. I am sitting on this stage because one
What's up with this?
tactic from 2007 to 2011. Me, Gary VEE on Twitter, replied to every single person that tweeted at me for 4 years. You can go see the receipts right now and go on.
All right, I gotta
really
do it.
Look at them, all of them. And it was in that depth. I would go do a talk like this back in 2009. I'd be heading to the airport. Back then it was a heavy tech community I was speaking to, heavy on Twitter. Every person that made any comment, pro and con, of anything I said on the stage got replied to by the time I was on the airplane. So I think the number one thing that
This shit's
everybody
work.
tactically should do is reply to every DM and to every comment they get on their brand.
Allison, as we prepare to close, if you had to give one piece of advice to this room to push them and encourage them and inspire them.
How do you get invited to these things? I'd like to
create
go.
Branding that bites. What would that one piece of advice be?
Oh my goodness, one piece of advice. That's always like a loaded question. It's like, what is the one thing that I can tell you to be successful? Look, I think that I get that question a lot, and it's different for every single person. If you're starting your business and you're like figuring out what are your non-negotiables, is it, do I lean into brand? Do I want to put my face out there? I think understanding the core values of you as an entrepreneur, because you are the culture of your company, right? There's so many like ways that you can go with that. But if I had to kind of give one piece of advice, is do not let your ego get in the way of growth.
Ooh, I have problems with that.
It's true. Humility is the secret weapon of the successful.
Humility.
It's not seen often. You can't really see it. You know, people struggle with understanding that humility is easily balanced with confidence. It's not a contradiction. But I think you're absolutely
I
right.
never want to be a CEO of a company, and I'm okay with that. Like, you don't have to be a CEO of your company. You can allow people to come in and help you. You don't have to be the CMO. Find out what your superpower is and build a team around you to allow you to get to your best. And don't let your ego get in the way of growth.
So, Gary and Allison just gave us the playbook. They just literally gave us the playbook for how to build a brand that bites. And remember,
Respond
it's
to
not
your
about budgets.
comments.
It's about being bold. It's about knowing where your audience is, showing up where they are, and creating something that they can't forget. And with that, please, round of applause, Allison and Gary.
That was good. That was good. Damn, I like his banners too. Oh my god, his design is real good too. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I just wanted to come in, hang out, watch that video with you guys. I know I've been gone for the last couple days. I just work stuff has been coming up, personal life stuff has been coming up. I know, not shouldn't be using excuses and stuff like that, but it's true. I mean, I'm a human being. I'm doing stuff, and but I am trying to do my best to hang out. I will be more proactive about it too after watching something like this. So I just want to say, guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching on the playback, let me know in the comments that you're watching it on the playback. Go check out I did a cute little short of my daughter. She was live streaming